this is where you actually stop showing up with that little girl energy and actually start freaking selling in your business and make some freaking money. So let's get into it. To the extent that you are not sold on your own offer, on your own program in your business, you will not be able to sell to anyone else. Imagine this. There is a car dealer and he is trying to sell secondhand cars, which are not great. They're a bit dodgy. They've been around the block. They've got a few mechanical issues. He's trying to sell them to these people as if it's the best car ever, and it's not. Compare that to someone who is selling a Lamborghini in this amazing car dealership. And the Lamborghini has lots of different features, lots of different, high resolution things. It's going to help the driver feel really comfortable. And it's brand new. Who do you think is going to be better at selling naturally, even when both of them do not have any sales experience or any sales training? It's going to be the person that has the Lamborghini because they have the confidence. They have the ability to understand and know that this product is so freaking amazing. It's something that they would want themselves, and they can sell it. They can sell it with conviction. And that's how you need to be when it comes to your offers. You need to be able to sell with the ultimate conviction and be sold yourself on your program. Now, if you're not feeling that way right now, if you're feeling this resistance when it comes to presenting your offers to people, trying to start conversations in the DMs, trying to lead on sales calls, you need to go back to the drawing board, because there's a few issues here and we need to know exactly what the issue is. Number one is maybe it's a deep-rooted issue in your belief in yourself. And because you are probably your business, if you are the only person in your business, then you will find a difficulty in really understanding and knowing the value in what it is that you are here to help people with. Number two reason could literally be you haven't really built out your offer enough. You don't know what journey you're taking these people on. You don't know what process they're going to go through. Maybe you haven't quite understood what level of resources needs to be built in to help someone get to a desired result. You need to really love what you sell. And if you're facing the resistance, go back, figure out what is wrong and how you can sell that offer like that Lamborghini. When I first started out in business, my coaching business was so different to what it is now. I wasn't doing high ticket selling and helping entrepreneurs. I was helping individuals get out of 9-to-5s. And I did not have like a clear roadmap as to how I was going to take them through that. I didn't have a built out structure of like, this is the roadmap, this is the framework, which is something I tell all of my clients to do, because you need to know what journey you're driving them on. We need to know, like Google Maps, what route are we taking here? And I didn't know that. And that was part of my struggle in my ability to actually sell to these people, because you need to show them how they're going to go from A to B. Number two is you need to be sold on yourself. You need to be sold on yourself. This means you need to have a high say and high do. Now, high say, high do is when you say you're going to do something and you just do it. So if you say to yourself, I'm going to go to the gym at 12 p.m. tomorrow, and you don't end up going because you feel so tired and sluggish, and you just sit in your room all day, like slumped over your laptop doing work and watching Netflix, you're going to feel pretty crap. And then when you say to yourself after that you're going to have a healthy day, you're not going to eat any chocolate, and you do, again, you're going to feel pretty shitty about yourself. Now, it's the same thing when it comes to business as well as our personal life, because they can be interlinked. So when you say something and you don't do it, you in yourself are not 100% in your truth. You are not 100% certain in yourself. And that translates in your ability to actually sell to someone, because selling is certainty. When we can sell with certainty, we can really sell to someone on why what you do is going to help them get to their desired result. So this goes back to your ability to be sold on yourself, because when you think, oh God, you know what, like maybe I am a crappy business owner, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe If I can't even get up at 9 in the morning and start doing my business work at like 10 a.m., how can I actually bring in clients? How can I sell to people? You know, and that energy is going to carry you through. That's why selling is, as much as it is about your skills and your energy, it's also the belief and the truth that you hold in yourself that you need to be working on. And that's why when you learn sales, you change as a human being. Number 3 is understand their pain point. You cannot sell to someone if you don't know their pain point, and business is all about solving a certain pain point. Now, I want you guys to understand that there are 2 different types of problems. There's an unfulfilled desire, number 1, and number 2 is there is an actual pain. I got this from Cole Gordon. So an unfulfilled desire is when, let's say, for example, you are doing really well in your business, you're making 5-figure months, and now you want to get to 6-figure months. That's more like an unfulfilled desire. But let's say you're really broke, you've been pushing for trying to grow this business for a really long time, and you're not making any money. You're making like 2K per month. That is a pain. You see the difference? Or let's say, for example, you know, you're trying to sell a weight loss program. If they're already like this amazing athlete and they just want to go to like the next level and get even more trim, that's an unfulfilled desire. But if they're fat and overweight and they have health issues, that's a real pain. So you need to understand, is this person having an unfulfilled desire or a pain? Because that's when your technique will be slightly different, okay? But the point is that you want to get to the problem that this person has. Now, that's why your conversations need to have really good questions to unpack what the problem actually is. The best thing you can do is when you're having a conversation, they will just open up and tell you these things. And you don't actually have to do too much of the legwork. But what you do need to do is stop having conversations about what they did on the weekend, about their cat, about other things that are not related to getting to the root of the actual problem. The way that I like to do this is if I'm having a conversation with someone and then I want to kind of transition, I'll use like the bridge method. And the bridge method is a way where you basically transition. You transition the conversation from how their weekend went into, okay, let's start talking about your business. So you might have a question that, if in my example, would be, how has business been going for you lately? Have you got any exciting projects coming up? That's when you transition into a conversation which actually links to your offer. So then if they say, yeah, business is going fine and I'm launching something soon. Oh, okay, cool. That's amazing. Do you have like a launch plan, like a launch strategy? And they might skirt around the topic a little bit. Sometimes people don't like to admit that they don't have an actual plan or strategy. And that's when I know that they don't have one. And then they might, they might say, yeah, I'm launching, I'm trying to bring in clients. Okay, like how is it going? Like, what are your lead generation strategies right now? And if they skirt around the question again, or maybe they're just like, oh, well, I don't really have one. You have got the problem. And now you need to go even deeper into that problem. It's your ability to actually go to the problem as quickly as you can, so you can have a really effective conversation with this person and you can figure out, is this a person that I can actually help and can I change their life? Please do not take no's personally. I do not like to use the word rejection necessarily, but many of us will see a no or a ghost or someone that doesn't actually end up buying your program as a rejection. And that can sting, especially when you're early in your business and you feel like your business is your baby, your business is you, and it feels like a personal attack. It feels like they're actually rejecting you. Women struggle with this so much more than men, because women are conditioned and we've grown up in society where, the man comes to us, the man is the one that will ask us out and he'll do all these things. And, we're not used to that level of rejection. We're not used to us having to initiate conversations, initiate certain doors opening for us so we can get a sale. And that's where discomfort can come mostly for women. Not to say it doesn't happen for men, but for women in particular. And so you need to get really comfortable and okay with having no's, with having rejections. What I do now every single time is it fuels a fire inside of me when I'm having a conversation, or maybe a launch was a bit dead and it was like tumbleweed. It happens to everyone, okay? You cannot say to me you've never had something flop like that. But the point is that I actually get more of a fire, because I'm like, you know, you missed out. Like, you missed out. You missed out on freaking amazing opportunities, because I'm so freaking powerful. I can change your life for you. That's how powerful I am. And so I see it as my fuel, and it just keeps me going. And you have to see it in the same way for yourself, and you just keep moving forward. In business, the most successful people will detach their emotions from the actual business growth. And it's hard sometimes because, you know, you are really invested and you want it to do well, and it can be stressful for you. But you need to understand that you need to detach those emotions, because you need to still keep showing up every single day, even though you don't actually want to. So when someone says no, remember, it's not about you as a person. It's not about the value of you as a human being. The main thing you need to realize and understand is that it just wasn't articulated in a way that this person could see the value from it. And that leads me on to my next thing, which is do not burn bridges when it comes to those no's. You should not handle this emotionally again. You know, if someone says no and you ghost them and you never speak to them again, well, you've lost out on a potential client, because they could have said no to you in that moment 6 months ago. Does that mean they wouldn't have then said yes to you 6 months later, because they became more buyer aware and they understood, oh yeah, I've got a real problem that I need to solve? That's why you don't take it personally. The most important thing you do, even when you get a no, is to respect the person and their decision and keep that connection there. You step back. It's almost like you're putting all the tools down, and you step back and you step away. And what that does is it lowers the level of pressure that this other person then feels, and it allows them to just be able to connect with you more as just a human being. And you never know who this person could be in 6 months, in a year, however long that might take. So always make sure you're still nurturing each one of your connections. And the last thing I have for you is to accept failures. Now, we are all going to fail in business. We're all going to make mistakes. I've made so many, and that's totally okay, because we need to learn, and the way that we learn is through failure. I am a 3-5 in human design, for any human design enthusiasts. And that means that I need to have trials and errors in order to learn and to take my experiences forward, and then have the right people come my way. So whenever something happens and you feel like, oh, I messed up that pitch, or I asked a very silly question, or that could have been better in how I approached that person, don't be too hard on yourself. And, you know, sometimes I've had certain conversations which in my world didn't go very well, but they still led to a sale. So there's nothing to say that just because you feel like you failed at something where it wasn't good enough, that the sale is not going to happen. And sometimes things just happen out of the blue. Sometimes we don't know why we didn't get a sale. Sometimes we can't pinpoint it down to one thing, and it may not be to do with your failures. This is where we need to not take things so personally, because we are striving to be the best, but we're also striving to be realists in this industry that we're in, because no one is perfect. And the most important thing that you can do is just learn how to sell. And you do not need to call yourself a salesperson or think, I'm not a salesperson. I don't need to learn sales. I don't need to learn this for my business. Every single person with a freaking business that has a price tag on it needs to sell. And it's the same with everyday life. We are always selling to people. which leads me on. The final point is number 6 is I want you guys to understand that in life, you're always selling. When you are deciding with your partner which destination for your holiday you want to go on, when you are having a chat with your mom and you're trying to convince her to take that Pilates class, or when you're in the restaurant and you're really angry that they put something on the bill that you believe shouldn't have been on the bill and you want to get it removed. Everything in life is a sale. And when you can open your lens to understand and see everything in life is a sale, it makes selling your business feel so much more comfortable, because now you know that selling is just part of everyday life. It's normal. It's not icky. It's a thing that keeps the world moving. It keeps money in circulation. And the more you can open your eyes to see, oh, you know what? I just saw that person selling. Oh, I just sold to my sister. Someone was selling to me. Then you will hold the energy of that, and you will understand that it's a very positive thing to have. You will either be sold to or you're selling to someone. That's how life interactions always are. If you're the one being sold to, I would ask you, how are you interacting with that person? Because sometimes when we know that we're being sold to, we have like a level of resistance. And that resistance is actually conducive to the way in which we show up when we are selling. So if you are coming in with a very hesitant and off guard kind of energy when someone comes up to you and, you know, they just want to ask you a few questions, see if you might be interested in this product, you may be very standoffish, right? Or when someone gives you a call, I know those calls can be really annoying, especially like when you're trying to get on with your day and someone calls you up and they're like, do you want a credit card? And you like hang up the phone or whatever. But I want you to start treating every single person that comes to you with something to sell a level of respect, because you have to treat others as you want to be treated. So it's the same with love, right? You do that with love, do that with selling. You wouldn't just hang up the phone, or you wouldn't like someone to hang up the phone on you if you're just trying to sell your offer and help someone. So don't do that to other people, and just be respectful. And that was one of the biggest things that changed the game for me, because I used to be someone that had been very off-guarded. I am English, by the way, so we are a bit more rigid and a bit more uptight when it comes to selling, not like Americans or Canadians. But it changed my whole perspective on my business, on me even learning like how to teach others to sell, when I could understand that as much as it is our own energy and skills, it's like you have to treat others in the same way. Whatever you're mirroring is going to get mirrored back to you. So if you're being ghosted all the time, are you doing that to other people? If you're not able to even sustain a conversation, is it because you hang up the phone on people? Just a thought. So these are my tips, guys, and I would love to know in the comments, which ones did you find super useful? Which ones are you going to start implementing straight away? And if you want to come all in on my sales method and you want my help in bringing in more consistent and predictable leads and having a structure that actually works for your business in getting aligned prospects, and then actually be able to sign up high ticket clients, then book in a call with me and go a step deeper.